Race family, what's up guys? I've been missing you guys like crazy. I haven't uploaded any videos in a couple of weeks. Shit, it's been almost a month since the car went to 780. The car's still running perfectly fine, but I've been slammed to work. The month of May and the month of June are the busiest months of work. So throughout the week, I don't have any time to play with it, edit videos, upload. You guys know how involved I am as well. Anytime there's ever a video that I upload, I love reading everyone's comment, doing my best to respond. So I've been kind of even like hesitating putting up videos because I know the type of attention I want to dedicate to it, and I just don't got the time right now with work. I've been slammed, but hopefully it'll be smooth sailing soon. Past the month of June, I'll have a lot more time to play with the car, edit videos, upload a lot more often. At the very least, I want to upload once a month. I'm so sorry, once a week. Once a month is nothing. At the very least, I want to upload once a week. So I'll do my best to start doing that July and beyond. But for now, let me show you guys the car a little bit, show you guys some of the parts that I've ordered, some of the things that I'm working on, talk to you guys about an upcoming race. So I plan on drag racing the car 2 weeks from this past Friday, so like a week and a half from now. Today's Sunday. So under 2 weeks away, there's a drag race at my local drag strip. It's a quick 16 for street cars. If you guys follow the channel, you guys saw that I did that like 2 months ago. They had the same race at our track. I got eliminated in the semifinals. I lost by like half a car length to the car that won the whole event. I went 8-0 on that pass. I've gone 780 now, and there's still more room left in the car, so I want to turn up some more. I'm hoping I can go with 760 at that event, maybe even a little better. So, I mean, that might be wishful thinking. We'll see what happens. We'll see how good the weather is. It's been burning hot in Florida. But anyhow, let me walk you guys through the car, show you guys some of the parts that I ordered, some of the things that are happening with it. On that last pass, I know you guys all enjoyed it with me. The car went at 780 at 183. The crazy part is there was still more I can turn the car up, but guys, this car, you guys know it. This car has no safety, nothing. I did that with no parachute. I did that with no belly pan, no fire extinguisher, no roll cage, nothing. This car should not be going that fast. And although this car makes it seem so easy, it just cruises down the track. I've told you guys before, I don't leave on a trans brake, so it doesn't like shock the tire and like whiplash it to the seat. It just kind of like cruises, like taking off. It's kind of crazy, but it takes off real smooth. And then during the gear changes, I'm pulling significant timing to make sure not to hurt the tranny with all the power on the gear change. So once you do that, again, the gear change is nice and smooth. It's like butter. So this car is going 780. It feels like a 10-second car. So although it feels extremely safe and extremely steady, anything could happen. An oil line can break, a freaking coolant leak, a fuel leak, anything can go underneath the tires. And that'll be really scary at that type of speed. Or even if nothing happens with my car, even if it's perfectly built and nothing ever happens, if someone before me drops some coolant or fluid on the track, guys, there's so many things that can go wrong at that type of speed. I just can't, with the family and all, I just can't take the risk. So I've been doing the best that I can to put some safety into it. I know all of you guys have been beating me up with the roll cage, and you guys are correct. I'll kind of talk to you guys a little bit on that now. I've always been on the fence, just kind of like, do I do it? Do I not? Should I not? For the longest, my mindset, and I'm sorry if my face is kind of droopy, my voice is kind of weird. I just woke up. There's a Cars and Coffee happening today. I don't love those things, but let's go out there and just kind of hang out, see some new guys, meet some new people, enjoy the car for a little while. But anyways, let's finish talking about the roll cage. So for the longest, I've been like, man, should I do that? Should I not? I don't want to turn this thing into a full race car. To me, my mindset has always been, once it's got a cage, it's probably just gonna sit in the garage. It won't be as fun or practical just to drive it out to get dinner or just cruise around town. Having that pipe, like, although now I'll be safer in an all-out race where I'm wearing a helmet and I'm all strapped in, if I'm just cruising on the highway and I got a freaking thick pipe inches from my head and I'm not wearing a helmet, although I'm safer now going full speed, I'm not as safe doing a lot of other stuff or making a street pool. I don't know. I've always kind of like, I don't know. I've always not wanted to do it. And not only that, it's a car of such high value. Like, these Supras keep going up and up in price. I feel like once I cage it, it's just another race car. Like, it's gonna lose its uniqueness. But the fact is that I know for a fact I'm gonna keep racing this thing, especially now having the channel. I want to keep pushing it for you guys, and I want to go back to the half mile. And no way in hell am I gonna go to the half mile. My goal is to go over 210 miles an hour. I don't want to go that type of speed, and God forbid a tire blows out, something happens without a cage. That's really scary, because those places aren't like a drag strip where you have a wall a couple feet from you. There is just open field. If you spin out and you start flipping or something crazy like that, I can't even imagine that. So anyways, I've always put it off. I've never wanted to do it, but my new mindset is I know I'm gonna keep racing the car. And also, let me get into this point. I always thought we have to draw the line somewhere. It doesn't matter what you're building. It's always gonna get to a point where it becomes almost really, really difficult to continue to progress, right? Let's say that'll be 750 for me or 760. Because in all reality, this car was 780 pretty damn easy. So I always knew there'll be like a point where you get and it's like you'll need like a miracle pass. The weather's gotta be perfect. The launch has to be perfect. Track prep's gotta be. It'll get to a point where it gets really, really tough to continue going forward as far as progressing in your time. And I always figured, you know what, you have to draw the line somewhere. So I always thought, if I can go sevens on all Toyota parts, right? Like I did that already, but I always thought if I can go sevens on all Toyota parts, man, what an accomplishment. I'll just say, you know what, that's enough. And pretty much just retire the car. Like just quit drag racing, quit beating on it, move on to my next project. Just kind of like leave it up in the garage as a finished item or a finished trophy piece. I mean, I'll still drive it and enjoy it, but just kind of like move on to the next project, build something else. If I wanted to go faster, do it in like a smaller chassis, a 240 or something that's lighter weight. But that was always the mindset of, man, now with the channel, Baltic Supra racing, come on, we got to keep racing the Baltic Supra. I can't quit on you guys. So with that being said, next month I'm going to look into caging the car. I want to race this one next race. I have added some safety features. I'll show you guys some of the parts that I've ordered, and then maybe next month I'll look into the cage so I can do the half mile and I could continue to drag race this car. There's also a lot of really cool events like World Cup up in Maryland. That's a huge race that a lot of my buddies go to. I would love to race there, but I assume the rules there are a lot more strict than my local track or just a small little event. They're definitely going to want a cage. They're definitely going to want a lot of the safety features that these cars should have, and I didn't have any of them. So if I did cage the car, maybe I can do a drag week. I can do a World Cup finals. I can do a lot of cooler races. So that's my mindset now. So the cage is definitely coming. We'll talk about what type of cage we're gonna do and maybe progress from there, but we'll leave that for another video. But for now, let me show you guys some of the parts. I want to start by showing you guys the engine bay really quick. I didn't show this on the last video, but I don't keep any secrets from you guys. I'll show you guys now, and I'll talk to you guys about it. Here, give me 1 second. I know I'm talking a whole bunch, but my idea is, guys, I don't have a lot of time to edit these videos. I'd rather have one long uncut piece that I can just throw in the video, and there you have it. And that'll make it easier for me to spend time trying to edit the video. And this is kind of just like a walk around the car and talk and give you guys some information. So this is what I wanted to tell you guys. On that last pass when the car went 780, the car was making obviously crazy power. To go 183 miles an hour on a car that weighs 3,400 pounds, I mean, look it up online. Any horsepower calculator should have been making 1,350, 1,400 wheel. That's by 1,600 at the motor. It's a lot of power. I guess it built up some coolant pressure under that type of load. And the radiator cap that I had, this is a new radiator cap. The one that I had, I guess all that coolant pressure pushed up the spring on the cap and it threw some coolant to my overflow tank. This badass overflow tank is brand new. This is from the guys over at PHR. Those guys have awesome pieces. But anyhow, this is brand new. I'll show you the one that I used to have. This one is the one that I used to have before. It's got the shitty line on the side that kind of shows how much coolant you have in there. I mean, now it's low, but I always kept this thing even a little higher than half because my car had never, ever pushed any coolant. And I always felt that in case it needed some, I can pull from here. But this line, it's not probably what you want in a 1,600 horsepower car. It's got the shitty cap up top. It's not even like, see, this is a screwed on cap, is way nicer. This is like some piece of crap, little press on cap. This thing had no way of, like, let's say if it overfilled, there was no way of dumping it anywhere. It had nothing. So what I think happened was when it pushed coolant, it comes through this line, it overfilled this, and I think it came out of this shitty little line on the side. Either there or the cap, but the cap was dry. This shit was all wet. So it must have came out of here. It's the only way out. So anyways, so once it came out of there, guys, after that pass, I popped the hood and there was coolant sprayed all over the intake, over the side of the head, just the valve cover. This whole area was like, it wasn't a lot, but it was like a good mist of coolant. So right away, that puts a scaring into you because shit, if it was a lot of it and that would have happened, let's say at the top end of the track, which it definitely happened at that point, but had it gone underneath the tires, that would have been sketchy, guys. So again, there's no belly pan, nothing to catch that coolant spray. So I called my engine builder, Jay from Real Street Performance. He recommended the stronger radiator cap. I put this on right away. I ordered this better. There's more capacity here. And also what I'm doing now is I'm keeping it lower than I used to. So in case there ever was a situation where it would push coolant again, there's space to actually hold it. Instead of having this thing almost all the way filled and there's no place for any more coolant. So I'm keeping it lower. There's a significantly better coolant tank. It's got the good cap on there. Doesn't have that shitty line on the side. And it has an overflow exit. So if it was to overfill, I can now run a little hose from here to wherever destination that I want. And then I can catch it in another reservoir. There's ways around it, but it won't get underneath the tires anymore. So that was the goal. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you guys. The next is, let's talk about the belly pan. It's actually inside the house now. I haven't gotten it installed yet because it's not a direct, just, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like a plug and play, or it's not something you can just put on the car. You have to weld these little tabs underneath the car and then you can screw it on. So I have to go to a welder. I don't have a welding machine. I don't weld, so I'm gonna take it to a buddy that does do some welding work and I'll get that installed. But basically, it's already made for a Toyota Supra. I bought it from Cody Phillips. So it's Cody Phillips belly pan. It's inexpensive, guys. I think it was like 200 bucks online, 199 or something. And it's an aluminum sheet that goes from side to side of the engine all the way to the back of it. So it's gonna protect any fluid droppings, fuel, oil, coolant, anything that were to drop down. Again, just not making it onto the racetrack for every other racer and not making it underneath my tires and keeping us safe. So I got that, I gotta get that installed. So that was one change. The other was a coolant situation here. Let me see what else I got. Talking more about safety. Guys, I plan on doing, maybe after I do the cage, I plan on doing a fire suppression system. If you guys aren't familiar with that, it's like a little fire extinguisher bottle that goes inside of the car. And then if there was ever a case of fire, you would run these little lines, right? You run it before the fact, obviously. There's these little lines that run to your engine bay, that run to like key areas, and you basically pull a little lever inside the car and it'll spray the fire extinguisher chemical or whatever the hell, it'll spray it to those areas to turn off the fire. You won't have to run to the hood, open the hood, find the fire, spray it yourself. I mean, the flames are running out and that type of situation. So it's definitely the best choice. I just didn't really feel like running those little lines right now. And once I do the cage, I'll look into that. But for the time being, this car has never, ever, I've owned this thing for 8 years. I've ran the hell out of it. Luckily, we've never had a fire, but I've never had a fire extinguisher. I went ahead and bought one. This thing is not even mounted yet, but don't laugh at the size of my bottle, guys. This thing looks like it's for a freaking go-kart. Anyhow, this thing was $145, believe it or not. This shit was crazy expensive. It's I guess just the chemical or whatever it's in here that it sprays out. It doesn't harm any of your electric wiring. It doesn't like stain the car with that nasty white powder. It's very clean. This is what they use in like high-end supercars and stuff. So I just went ahead and bought it. The next size up was like double the size of this, and I didn't want a huge freaking fire extinguisher in the car. Not to mention, if I do the fire suppression system pretty freaking soon, I didn't want to invest $200 something on one of these bottles. 145 is already expensive enough, but I figured once I'm done with it, I'll just give it to my buddy Robert for his Supra, or I think Smiley already has something like this in his car, but I figured I'll give it to somebody as a gift. But whatever, for now I'll carry that there with me. So I did that. What else? If you guys have been following the car for a little while, you guys saw that at Texas 2K, we did have a parachute on the car, and all of a sudden we no longer ever use it. The reason for that, guys, is once I got back from Texas 2K, I had the car on the trailer. You can see the trailer right back here. I think I've told you guys before, this isn't my trailer. This is my sister and brother-in-law's trailer. They let me borrow it. But I had the car on the trailer. It was raining. So we get back from Texas. It was pouring rain for a day or so, and I just left the car on the trailer, and then I felt bad just leaving it out here in the rain. So I decided to throw it back in the garage, and basically the car was facing forward, so I had to back it out. But with the fenders on, I couldn't open the door. It was a mess, guys. It was raining. I was freaking tired. Long story short, I freaking let the car roll back, and I had these wood like planks to slow it down, but the garage was wet because it was raining. Long story short, it pushed the wooden planks, and the freaking parachute smacked up against that toolbox back there, and it broke my parachute. So there you have it. Let me see if I can find it. Look, it's back here somewhere. Check this out. So this is the parachute that I had. I mean, obviously the actual chute is fine, but it broke. See, this is the Titan Motorsports piece. It broke the pipe that screws onto the back of the car. So this piece slid into the back of the car, and it broke it right off. So ever since that happened, I haven't had a freaking chute. And not to mention, this Simpson parachute is kind of a pain in the ass to pack. All my buddies run the Stroud parachutes, So I went ahead and just bought one. Titan Motorsports is sending me one of those new pipes, and then a new parachute came in the mail yesterday, actually. So this is my new chute. I'm excited to use this guy. So there you have it. So we got a new parachute. What else? I know there's more things. I'm probably forgetting some. Oh, I ordered new tires. These tires, guys, have gone with us to freaking Texas, Bradenton, my local drag strip, like 3 or 4 times. They've done 15 to 16 burnouts. They have a crap load of 1 7-second pass, a bunch of low 8-second passes. So lots of street pools. So it's time to change them. Next time we're going out drag racing, there's gonna be that competition. So I definitely want them to be tip top. So I have new tires coming in Tuesday, so 2 days from today. So I ordered tires. You guys know that my nitrous solenoid, the Nitrous Express purge solenoid, I've talked to you guys about that a little bit before too. And I know I'm kind of just giving you guys lots of information, but I hope you guys enjoy this. Just kind of filling you in on some of the things that are going on. Inside the car, guys, I don't have a scramble button. So for example, something that I can reach for to add X amount of boost through a pass. Let's say if I'm in the middle of a race and I want extra power, there's nothing I can reach for, nothing I can touch. I got whatever I chose to have before I went into that race, and that's it. So if someone's right there and I need to catch them by a little bit, or they're catching me and I want to pull away, I got nothing. As of yet, maybe I'll look into something down the road, but as of now, there's nothing. What I do have is, I have a nitrous kit, obviously, but the nitrous kit, I only use it to leave the line. It turns off at like 40 miles an hour. But a few years back, I installed a purge system. So basically, whenever you see any nitrous cars, they typically purge before the race just to get air out of the line. I always thought if I'm gonna be blowing some air, and obviously some nitrous also goes out with it, I don't just wanna blow it up into the sky. I'd rather just throw it to the front of my intercooler with like a little nitrous ring that goes in front of the intercooler. That way it cools down the intercooler, which might cool down some of the air that runs through it, which colder air obviously means more power. So I have a button that's at my reach when I'm driving, and what I've done like 2 or 3 times is throughout a race, if I want a little more power, I'll reach for that button. And in theory, I mean, I don't know how much it helps or not, but in theory, spraying nitrous to the front of the intercooler, cooling it down, maybe cooling some of the air that's rushing through it, which would in exchange maybe add a little bit of power. It's not a lot, but it's a little bit. But the 2 or 3 times I've held that shit, for some reason, my nitrous solenoid will get stuck open. So I'm holding it mid-pass. At the end of the pass, I let go of the button, and it just stays open till it empties my bottle. So it's done that twice to me already. So that's a pain in the ass. So I called the guys over at Nitrous Express. They're sending me over a solenoid. That gets here this week, so I'll show you the solenoids right now. So if you look here, this is the nitrous solenoid. I use a dry system, guys. This is not a wet system that also sprays fuel. I just compensate through the computer and through the injectors. But this is the nitrous solenoid, and then this small guy here is my purge solenoid. And then I'll actually show you the nitrous ring as well. So you can only see half of it right here. Let me adjust the camera. All right, so you can only see the half of it here, but obviously it's in there as well. You can actually see most of it now. But anyhow, there's a bunch of little holes in there, and it sprays to the whole front of the intercooler and cools it down. So again, I don't really know how much it helps. Maybe down the road I'll make a pass with and without it and see if it really does anything. I mean, at the very least, if it can give me a mile an hour, 2 mile an hour, anything, it's better than nothing. So I don't always use it. I try not to use it, but in case of a close race or in case I want a little more, I'll reach for it. So that's gonna get fixed. I raised the car's height a hair in the rear. If you guys saw in that last pass, we went 780 and it spit out on the, let me show you, on the other side, it spit out this little plastic piece. It spit out this piece here, because I guess the car was just squatting so hard, the tire maybe was inflating some or expanding, and it bit here and just ripped this thing out. So I went in there and I got new little plastic, I don't know what those things are called, but just to hold it in place, I did that. And then I trimmed up inside a little more so it won't happen. I also trimmed back the back. There was like some metal pieces back here that I think actually like cut up my tire. So we're gonna take the car for a ride today, but I don't plan on beating on it. I don't know how good you can see it here in the video, but there's a huge slice right here in the tire, and there's another one right there, and they go pretty freaking deep. So I was gonna put another set of tires that I have. These are like some also used tires, but they don't have that problem. Not to mention, when we raced over in Bradenton, I'm not sure if I showed it in the video or if I told you guys, but we got a freaking nail in the tire. So this tire has a patch from the inside. So I said, damn, it's got a patch, now it's freaking sliced. Might as well just change to these till the new ones come in, but the new ones are coming in on Tuesday. So I'll just put the new ones and the hell with those. But That's pretty much it, guys. I mean, the car is just how you guys saw it last. There's no drastic change. Everything's just little minor things, mostly just for safety. There's still more power I can add to it, so I wasn't really searching for extra power. And I got the motor oil changed. I got new transmission fluid. I'll talk to you guys more about that at a later time, but guys, transmission, if you guys are running an A340, the training that I run, transmission fluid is not a lot of money. Stay up to date on it. I remember when I first started racing these transmissions, I would just run them till they couldn't run anymore. And half the times what would happen is there's so much clutch debris that they'll occasionally drop. And over the course of, call it a year of beating on the car, or 7, 8 months, you have all that clutch debris there. Now your pickup, as your transmission's trying to pick up oil, it's picking up some of that junk. Next thing you know, you're not getting the right pressure or enough oil, and then you start heating up the transmission, burning through the clutches. So if I'm drag racing this car hard, I might get 7, 8 runs out of it, and then say, you know what, the hell with it, let's switch to oil again. This is the oil that I use. So I get this question a lot. I'm gonna give you guys a lot of information in these coming up videos. I get a lot of questions as to what parts are in my car, or what oil do I use, what this do I, like a lot of little specific questions. I'll give you guys those answers. I don't really care. I'll give you guys any answer you guys are looking for. This is the oil that was recommended to me by ATF Speed, the transmission shop that builds my transmission. So this is what I've been using. I've never used it before, but since the car's been out, this is all that I've used. And it's pretty freaking expensive at the auto parts store, but I recently started buying shit through Amazon. I've never had an Amazon account, but now all my engine oil, all my training oil, I buy that stuff from Amazon. You pay no taxes, free shipping to your doorstep, and once it's here, you can just, anyways, stay up to date on it. Change it as much as you can, just to make sure it's fresh. But that's it, guys. This is a lot of information. I mean, if I drove the car more, I drive it as much as I can. I get asked a lot if this is my daily driver. And guys, it very easily can be a daily driver, but I'm blessed to work from home. My wife and I both work from home, so I don't necessarily drive any car at all, much. So I'm always looking for an excuse to have to go somewhere so I can go in the Supra. But I was gonna say, if I drove more, then I would definitely document that stuff for you guys, or just, I don't know, enjoy it with you guys. I've told you guys before, if you don't follow our Instagram, please look us up on Instagram. You're gonna miss a lot of really cool stuff. I try to upload to that almost once a day, even if it's a little clip, a picture, something. Where in comparisons to YouTube, I sometimes go a week or 2 weeks without uploading anything. So make sure to follow us on Instagram as well. It's Baltic_Supra. And guys, let's get going. It's burning hot. It rained last night. It's very muggy. And the car's got no AC still. It's got the AC system's fully hooked up, but once I got the engine bay painted, all the Freon leaked out, and I've never taken it somewhere to get Freon back in there, or bought it at the auto parts store. So there's no AC in there. I at least got to get some wind. I'm freaking sweating just in the garage. But anyhow, let's stop by Cars and Coffee, hang out for a little bit. I'll catch you. Guys, I just remembered, you know what else I recently bought? I'm actually really excited for it. I bought a Draggy. I'm not sure if you guys know what that is, but my good friends over at Rose Street Performance, Gio's always using it on all of his badass cars. Basically, it's a GPS performance meter. It's something, it's an application that you put on your phone. It's a little GPS transmitter that you put inside your car, and it'll tell you very, very accurate quarter mile times, eighth mile times, 0 to 60, 60 to 120 or 130, I believe it is. Gives you all sorts of perfectly accurate performance data. So I received it this week. I can't wait to use it. I have it inside the house and it's charged, it's ready to go. I have the application on my phone, but I showed you guys that little slice on my tire. If I bring that crap with me, I know myself, I'm gonna start turning the car up and start making hits on the street. No, I don't wanna do it. So I'm just gonna leave it at home. Once I get the new tires in, we can mess around with it, but for now, heck no. But I am excited to use it. Even whenever we go drag racing, I can use it down the drag strip, and it'll show you guys just some performance numbers, some additional numbers that aren't found in a time slip. Things like 0 to 60, how fast do we get to 60 miles an hour? And it'll kind of like, I can do a video overlay, so it'll show you guys, as the car is going down the track, it'll show you guys how fast I'm getting to these results. So it'll be fun, it'll be something else to add to the videos. So I'm really excited for it. I thought about bringing it today, but I really shouldn't. All right, guys, let's get going. Now I'll show you guys a cold startup. Oh, let's talk about that too. You hear the fuel pump? Check this out. Did you hear that noise change? I forgot to talk to you guys about that. So I have a big Weldon pump in my car, an external pump that I love. There's actually more stuff I forgot to talk to you guys about. I got a huge pump that, let me turn the ignition back on. So I got a big external pump that is badass. I mean, it gives me all the power that I need, right? It supports the power that I need, but the shit's loud. Before, right, when all the previous videos that you guys have seen to this one, I've always had like a shorty exhaust. It's basically like a dump tube that'll dump right past the transmission, so like mid-car, and it was pretty loud. So because that was loud, I couldn't really hear the pump. I didn't really care. So when I was walking around the car earlier, I'm not sure if you guys saw, but I have a full exhaust system back on the car. So the car is really quiet now. So now that the car is quiet, I was hearing the pump and it was driving me freaking crazy. So I have a voltage regulator for the pump that controls how much, I guess, how hard you run the pump and how loud it is. But I always had it just kind of thrown back there, and I wasn't really messing with the regulator. I always had it on kill. But now that the car is quieter, it was driving me nuts. So just a couple nights ago, I ran the cable all through the carpet, all on the side plastic paneling, and I ran it inside my glove box. So I'll show you guys that now. Let me see if you can see that there. Oh yeah. All right, guys, check this out. This switch here, let me open the ignition a little bit. There. Okay, so this switch here, oh, it's not even lighting up. I gotta open the ignition all the way. Anyhow, this one's for my nitrous. Whenever I flick this switch up, nitrous is armed and ready to go. This one's for high boost. So right now it's down, meaning it's on just spring pressure. If I flick it up, it goes to my boost by speed, my high boost ramp. And then this little round knob here that I can spin around, this little rotation, this is for the pump. So right here, the pump is on full kill. Watch how loud that is, and then I'll regulate it down. Listen to this. Did you hear that? It started, and then we just kind of calmed it back down. So on the street, we definitely use that. It makes driving the car that much better. So that's something else that's new. And I feel like I was gonna say something else. What else was it? Oh, the full exhaust. So I actually recorded a video. So 2 days after I left the drag strip, I knew I wouldn't go back for, call it a month. So I knew, I said, man, I'm gonna be driving the car on the street. I wanna make it back to being quiet. So 2 days after going 780, I took off the shorty exhaust and put on the full exhaust. I made a video documenting that, but I haven't had any time to edit it or even mess with it. I haven't even had time to download it from the cameras. Been slammed at work, but now that I've told you guys that, I'll upload that video next. It's gonna be kind of a little, obviously, older video than what this would have been, but nonetheless, I'll show you guys what that piece looks like, what the full exhaust looks like, what it sounds like on the full exhaust. So I'll put up that video after this one, but for now. I am low on fuel, but I hope it's enough to get out there and come back. The car's on E85 now, and I'm trying to just burn that E85 so I can go back to an E90 blend for once we go drag racing. Guys, listen to how quiet this thing is. Much quieter than what it used to be. I also should mention to you guys that although I haven't been uploading any videos in the last like 2 weeks or so, I did meet up with the guys from That Racing Channel. That Racing Channel has a huge YouTube following with like 1 million subscribers. This car started his life on That Racing Channel, so I would do a lot of racing with those guys at the track, the streets of Mexico, of course. But there's freaking mosquitoes in the car. What the hell? But anyhow, I met up with those guys. They came over to the house and they did kind of like a full documentary on the car. They asked me a bunch of questions. We went for a little cruise on the street. Not to mention, those guys are with me at Texas 2K, so they got videos of us racing at Texas. They got videos of us racing at Bradenton like 2 months ago. They were at PBIR the day that I went 780. They interviewed me after that pass. You guys saw a little bit of that. So I met up with them and they're working on a full like 30-minute video on the car. So look out for that, guys. You guys will definitely enjoy that. It'll be an awesome coverage, a well-edited video, not the crap that I put together. But nonetheless, guys, thanks for all the support. Thanks for hanging out with us. I plan on doing another video maybe later this week or maybe next weekend whenever I get a chance. Just like a full walk around, talk about the parts that are in the car, what parts that I use, what parts have I used before, what works best. So I get a lot of those questions, so I'll answer it. Just kind of like a full walk around, talking about a full mod list. What exactly is on the car? What's on here to go the 780 pass, and hopefully faster soon. Guys, check out this magnet piece that I bought online to hold the phone. It's a suction cup, and it holds my phone there. That's where I plan on putting the draggy. Well, I mean, I'll put the phone there. The draggy will be somewhere else, but that's where I plan on putting it to capture videos and do those performance videos. Guys, I'm missing my AC so bad, man. It's freaking warm in here. God.